Now the PPT is visible?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, we can start.
So today we'll be talking about the components of food. Okay. Now we'll be learning about what is present in food. Why is food so very important for us? Why we need to eat food? Okay. And what is there inside the food, or what does the food contain that it becomes so important for us? Is there any other thing that we can eat apart from food, or if we can take apart from food so that we can stay alive? Okay, so all these answers we are going to know at the end of this discussion. Okay, next slide. Okay, so I want to know what you know about food, or what why is food so important for us? Can you tell me why is food important for us? Can anyone tell me why is food so important for us?
Food is important for us because it provides us with nutrients and energy.
Nutrients,
So,
okay, very good. And why do we need these nutrients? One reason why we need these nutrients.
to
Why
keep
do we?
the body functioning.
Okay, very good, for growth. Any more reasons why we need food? One is growth. Very good, Ariha. Then anyone? Anyone else? Okay.
The
So,
functioning of the body.
okay, functioning of the body. Correct. So, food is required to give us energy also. Okay, it gives us energy. It helps in growth of our body. It helps in development of our body. It helps to repair our body. Okay, and it helps us to be healthy. All okay, and it also protects us from diseases. So these are some of the things why food is so important for us. Now, food contains something called as nutrients. What does the food contain? It contains nutrients. Okay, the nutrients can be divided into two types. Some are macronutrients and some are micronutrients. Macronutrients are the nutrients, macro means large. So macronutrients are the nutrients that are required by the body in a very large amount, like proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Okay, these are the macronutrients. They are required by our body in a large amount. And micronutrients are the nutrients that are required by the body in a small amount, like vitamins and minerals. Clear with that? Nutrients can be divided into two types, that is macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients means the body requires large amount of these nutrients like proteins, carbohydrates and fats. And micronutrients means the body requires less amount of these nutrients like vitamins and minerals. Okay? Now, food can be divided into three types. One is energy giving food, bodybuilding food, and the protective food. We'll go one by one. So, first one is energy giving food. These foods give us a lot of energy. And why do we need energy? We need energy to study, to play. We also need energy to work. All our day-to-day work, whatever we are doing, is because we get energy from the food. Okay, the food gives us energy, so we can do all these activities. Now, our internal organs are also functioning properly, like our liver, kidney, lungs, heart. All the functioning is taking place because of the energy that is given by the food. Okay, and so many chemical reactions are occurring inside our body. That is also because of the energy given by the food. Now, which food or which nutrients give us this energy? That is, carbohydrates and fats give us energy. Okay, carbohydrate, we can say it is the main source of energy. And carbohydrates are very simple. Okay, so what it does, it gets digested or broken down very easily, and they give us energy very quickly. They give us energy. But on the other hand, what about fats? Fats are not as simple as carbohydrates. Okay, so they take a very long time to break down and to give us that energy. It takes a longer time to break down and give us energy. And fats give us 2 times more energy than carbohydrates. It gives us double the amount of energy than carbohydrates. All right. So we can say carbohydrates and fats both are required to give us energy. Is that clear with everyone? Have all of you understood the first point?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now we'll go to the second type, that is bodybuilding food. Now these food items, they help in growth of our body. Like when you all were born, you all were very small, you all had small hands, small legs, body was small. Now what is the case? You all have grown up, you all have increased in height, you all have increased in weight. Okay, your intelligence level has increased, you all have become more understanding. So all these things have developed in your body, and that is because of the proteins that you eat. That is because of the protein rich food that you take in your diet. Okay, proteins also help in repair of the body. Suppose you get an injury. Okay, if you get an injury, is that injury going to remain for a lifetime? Is it going to be till your entire life, till your full
Ma'am.
life? No.
No, ma'am.
It is going to heal, it is going to get okay, it is going to get all right. Okay, because of the proteins that we eat. The proteins help us to repair our body. Okay, so all of you got about bodybuilding food now. These are the
Yes, ma'am.
proteins. Okay, next we'll discuss about protective foods. Now these type of food, they protect our body against the diseases. Okay, because of protective food, our body is prevented from diseases. It does not allow the germs to enter our body. Okay, and protective foods keep our immune system very strong. What is the immune system? Does anyone know about the immune system?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Please tell me, Jayant. Can you tell me anything about the immune system? What is it?
Ma'am.
It's like a
Ma'am.
Yes.
keeps
Ma'am,
away
the immune,
bacteria.
ma'am, the
It's
immune system
Bacteria and
helps us to
viruses.
fight our body against all the germs and pathogens. It
okay.
consists
Very
of
good. Very
white blood cells.
okay. Very good. All right. So these the immune system protects our body against the diseases. It protects our body from the germs. Okay, so we can say the immune system is like the army of our country. What is the army doing? The army is trying to protect our country from the enemies, right? So in the same way, the immune system is protecting our body against the germs. So if the army is strong, what is going to happen? Enemies cannot enter our country. Yes or no?
Yes,
If the
ma'am.
army is strong, the enemies cannot enter our country. In the same way, if our immune system is strong, the germs cannot enter into our body. Clear? So these protective foods, actually, it makes our immune system so strong that we do not get diseases easily. Okay, and what are the protective foods? The vitamins and the minerals are considered as protective food. Clear with that, all of you? All of you are clear with the 3 types of foods: energy
Yes,
giving,
ma'am.
bodybuilding, and protective foods?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, now we switch to the next slide. We'll go to the next slide. Now we'll discuss about these types of food in detail. Okay, we'll learn about them more. So carbohydrates, we know that they are the energy giving food and they are the main source of energy. Okay, because they are very simple, they break down easily and give us energy easily. So they are the main source of energy. And these carbohydrates are made up of three elements, that is carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Okay. Now, carbohydrates are of three types. We can say they are sugars, they are starches, and they are fibers. Sugars are the carbohydrates which are really very sweet in taste. You can say sweets, you can say chocolates, you can say sugar, sugarcane, honey, jaggery. They are all containing these sugars. Okay? Carbohydrates can be sugars. They can also be starch. Starch means something which is stored, and starch is more, it is more complex than the sugars. Sugars are very simple, but starch is not very simple. Okay, starch is in a little complex form. Okay, so they are mainly stored in the body. They are little complex. And fibers, they help in the digestion process. They help us to digest our food properly. We get um, starches, we get from potatoes, we get it from food grains like rice, wheat, bajra. We get it from we get it from maize. Okay, all these things we get starch from. And fibers are something which helps in the digestion. It helps in the process of digestion. Okay, because of fibers, our digestion process will become easier, and we get fibers from fruits and vegetables. Okay, now carbohydrates can actually be divided into four types. If we say carbohydrates, uh, you look at the picture on the right hand side, you can see how it is divided. First, carbohydrates are divided into simple and complex carbohydrates. Okay, they're divided into simple and complex carbohydrates. Now, simple carbohydrates are the carbohydrates which can be really broken down very simply. They are of two types. One is monosaccharides and one is disaccharides. Okay, monosaccharides means they have only one sugar unit, and disaccharides means they have two sugar units. Okay, let me show you something. So this can be a monosaccharide. Can you all see? It is only having one sugar unit. It can be called a monosaccharide. Okay, it is having one sugar unit. So this is a simple carbohydrate. And monosaccharide, then disaccharides are having two sugar units like this. Okay, two sugar units. So this is a disaccharide. Now, monosaccharide can be glucose, fructose, galactose. These are some of the examples of monosaccharides. Disaccharides can be sucrose. Okay, it can be lactose. Some examples of disaccharide. These two are simple. They are simple carbohydrates. They can be broken down very easily because they have only one sugar unit. This is two sugar units. They are very easy to break down. They are very easy to get digested. Sugar unit, we can say glucose molecule. This is one glucose. Okay, and these are two glucose. Now, we'll talk about complex carbohydrates. Complex carbohydrates can be of two types again. One is oligosaccharides. Oligosaccharides are something that has more than two and less than more than two and less than 10 sugar units. They are more than 2 and less than 10. So how many, what is the number? Can you all tell me?
4.
4. So it is called an oligosaccharide. Okay, it is called an oligosaccharide because it is more than 2 and less than 10. This is a complex carbohydrate. Okay, it is not a simple carbohydrate. It is a complex carbohydrate. It takes time to break down because it has more sugar units or more glucose molecules, we can say. Next one is a polysaccharide. Polysaccharide has more than 10 sugar units. Can you tell me the number? How many sugar units you can see? How many glucose molecule? This one is a glucose molecule.
13.
Sugar unit.
13. 13.
Okay. So 13 sugar units. So it is a polysaccharide. Understood? about simple carbohydrates and complex carbohydrates. Simple carbohydrates can be of two types, that is monosaccharide and disaccharide, and complex carbohydrates can be again of two types, that is oligosaccharides and what? Polysaccharides. These are more than 10 and these are more than 2 and less than 10. Clear? It is very difficult to break these carbohydrates. An example of a polysaccharide is starch. Starch is something which is very difficult to break down, okay, because so many sugar units are there. It will take time to break down these sugar units or these glucose molecules, so it is very complex. Did you all get this point? Did you all understand about oligo and polysaccharides, monosaccharides, disaccharides, everything? Okay, we'll go to the next slide. Did everyone understand or not?
Yes, ma'am.
I understood, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, y'all will be telling, we already discussed in the previous slide some of the examples of carbohydrates. Tell me some of the examples of carbohydrates if you all know.
Ma'am, bread,
Bread, very good. Any more?
rice,
Rice, yes.
potato,
Potato.
maize,
What is that?
maize.
Maize, okay. Okay, very good. Okay, so all these food grains and sugar items means sugary food, that is sweet foods. Okay, all these are carbohydrates. We'll switch to the next slide now. Okay, so now we'll conduct an experiment. Okay, what you'll have to do is you'll we'll observe whether starch is present in the food sample or not. So what you'll all of y'all switch to your cameras, switch on your cameras, and bring your food sample. Okay, put it in a container, and we
Ma'am,
yeah.
ma'am, I don't have iodine.
Okay, does everyone not have iodine or only few of them? How many of you don't have iodine? Okay, Sanika has it. Dhyan.
Ma'am, it's not Sanika, it's Sanika.
Okay, Sanika. Okay. Sorry for the mispronunciation. Oh, yes. Okay, who doesn't have it then? Who said they don't have it? Okay. Oh, if you don't have it, y'all will just observe. Okay, how it takes place. Okay. Now what y'all will do? Y'all put your food samples on different containers. Okay. 1 second. Give me a second. Okay. So all of you show. Can you show me what are the food samples that you'll have? Okay. All right. Giant.
Ma'am, I have a banana, a potato, a tomato, and this maida, and
Groundnut
crushed
powder.
peanut, yeah, groundnut, and a banana.
Okay, very good. Okay, Ariha, switch to your camera, beta.
Ariha
doesn't have.
bread.
Okay. All right. So you all will observe. Okay, I'm having. You all will observe it with all the food items. I'll take a piece of potato. So you all cannot. You all have to peel the potato or you all have to cut the potato. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Is this fine?
Yes, that's fine.
Ma'am,
Yes. See, I'll show you all first and you all will do after that. Okay, I'm having three things. I'll show you all with that, and you all will do with all the food items which you all have. Um, okay, now you all can see how it's done. Okay,
Ma'am,
all of
do
you
I
all.
have to cut the banana into half?
Yes, you have to do it. Or you have to peel the banana. It's your choice, whatever you want to do. Okay. So what we'll do, we'll take the, all of you look at how I'm performing it, then you all will do it and show it to me. Okay. And you all can perform it simultaneously. What you have to do, you have to take all the food samples, put in 2 to 3 drops of iodine there, iodine solution. Okay, you all use a dropper for the iodine solution. Do you have a
Don't
dropper?
have a banana.
No problem. You can test it with the food samples that you have. What else do you have?
Ma'am, I have coconut powder,
Okay.
some rice powder, groundnuts,
Okay.
and a
All
potato.
right. Okay, fine. So what you do, yeah, whatever food samples you'll have, you'll just put in 2 to 3 drops of iodine solution in all the food samples. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Separate it out because you all are going to use these food samples for the other tests also. So separate it out. Okay? Don't use the entire thing for this experiment because we are going to test other.
Can we adjust the camera, Nicola ma'am?
Yeah. Okay, what I have taken a piece of potato here. I have taken basin, that is gram flour here, and I have taken crushed groundnuts. All right. You all can take all the food samples that you'll have, put in 2 to 3 drops of iodine solution in each. Put in 2 to 3 drops of iodine solution in each. And observe the color. All of you, those who have the food samples and the iodine solution, please do it.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I got dropped off from the meeting. What do we have to do?
What I didn't follow you. What did you say?
I got dropped off from the meeting. What do we have to do?
Okay, you have to put in 3 drops of iodine
Ma'am,
solution
I have
on the on the food items that you have. All of you try 2 to 3 drops on each food sample that you will have.
Ma'am, I have in all the food items.
Okay. So wait 1 second. What will be if there is a blue-black color in your food? If the food changes to blue-black in color, that means starch is present in that food item. Okay?
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me, what are the food samples that have changed to blue-black color?
Ma'am, bread, maida,
Okay.
then the
Maida.
groundnut.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, that's it. Ma'am,
Okay.
the potato is this color.
Show me. Okay.
Some
You
brownish.
the potato hasn't changed color.
No.
See the potato in this case. See what is the color of the potato? Can
It
you see the
is
color? Yes. What is the
completely
color?
black.
It's Yeah, it is somewhat black. Okay, that is called a blue-black color. Means a mixture of blue and black color. So all of you, please do it and show me and tell me what are the samples that have changed color to blue-black. What are the food items that have changed their color to blue-black? If the item has changed its color to blue-black, that means it has what does it have? It has starch in it. Okay. All of you have done it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, tell me your results quickly.
Ma'am, the rice powder. Ma'am.
Okay, rice powder. Very good. Rice powder has starch. Yes. Any more?
Ma'am, the groundnuts.
The groundnuts. Yes.
The bread.
The bread. Okay.
Ma'am, but the potatoes brownish color.
Okay, the potato did not change color.
No, ma'am. Ma'am, it's slowly changing its color.
Sure. Yes. Yes. It will slowly change its color. Okay. It will become blue.
Yes, ma'am.
Because
Jayant, you tell your results also.
yes, Jan.
Yeah. So potato is changed to blue-black. Bread is
Okay.
changed. Gram flour has also changed, and the groundnuts have also changed.
Okay, fine. All of you have done it. So we can go on to the next slide now. Okay. And those who haven't done it, please do it at home. So and show the pictures of the results in the group. Okay. Now, why does this happen? It is because the starch is having a coil structure. We saw that it is a starch is a polysaccharide, right? The starch is a polysaccharide, so it has somewhat a coil structure. Okay, it has a coil structure, and when the iodine enters into it, it is trapped. So it forms a starch iodine complex, which is actually blue-black in color. All right, next slide. And this starch test can only be seen by the food items that contain starch, not any other carbohydrates. Sugars will not show it. Okay. You have to try it with all these food items and record your results. Right? Next slide. Now we'll discuss something about proteins. Now, what are proteins? Proteins, as we discussed earlier, that proteins are bodybuilding food. Okay, they help in the growth, development, and repair of our body. They also help in the proper functioning of our organs. So these proteins are made up of number of amino acids. I want to show you all something. You all can see this? All of you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
You can consider that this is amino acids. So many amino acids form this protein. Okay? So many of these amino acids form this protein. Now proteins, these proteins can be of four types. One is primary protein. If the protein is somewhat like this, it is called a primary protein. Okay? If the protein is somewhat like this, it is called a primary protein. If the protein is more folded, if this protein becomes more folded like this, then it becomes a secondary protein. All right? Primary is very simple. Secondary becomes more folded. Okay. The third type of protein is a tertiary protein. Okay. This can be a tertiary protein. Okay, like this, somewhat like this. A tertiary protein looks like a 3D structure. Okay. And when many tertiary proteins come together, it will form this type of a structure. It is called a quaternary protein. Okay, many tertiary proteins, then when they combine together, they form this kind of a structure called a quaternary protein. Is it visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the first one, as I told you all, that this can be a primary protein. It is a very simple protein. When the protein structure gets more folded, it becomes a secondary protein. And when the protein structure, looks like a 3D structure, it is called a tertiary protein. And when many tertiary proteins, combine together, it becomes this type of a protein, which is more complex. It is called a quaternary protein. Here,
Yes, ma'am.
let's switch to the next slide. Okay, so these are the pictures of primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary proteins, as I showed you. Is it clear with all of you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
go to
ma'am.
the next slide. Okay, before that, I want some examples of proteins. What are the examples of proteins? It can be different types of dals, okay? Tur dal, masoor dal. It can be moong seeds, peas, beans, okay? These are the things that we get from plants, the proteins that we get from plants. What about the proteins that we get from animals? Can anyone name the protein?
Eggs.
Ma'am,
Yes,
fish. Ma'am,
fish,
egg.
eggs. Okay,
Meat.
fish, egg,
Ma'am,
okay.
meat.
Meat, fish, eggs,
Milk.
chicken. Okay,
Ma'am, most
and
of the animals. Ma'am,
Milk.
most of the animal food are rich in protein.
yes, yes. Okay, and we also get milk from proteins. That means that is also protein. Okay, now we carry out an experiment. So you all have to see how I'm doing it. So what I'll be doing, I'll be taking some gram flour. Okay, I'll be adding some water to it and making it into a solution. Mix it well. Okay, gram flour, mix it well, and I have made it into a solution. Now what I'm supposed to do is, see, now this is,
Ma'am, you added water to the transfer.
yes, I added water to the gram flour. Okay, now this is something blue. You all can see what is it?
Yes, ma'am.
It is blue in color. You all can see the color? Okay, this is copper sulfate solution, which is blue in color. Okay, what I'll do, I will add 2 drops of copper sulfate solution to this solution, to the gram flour solution. One, two. You can add more, no problem, but 2 drops are enough. Okay. Now you will take sodium hydroxide solution. This white color or colorless, you can say, this colorless liquid is sodium hydroxide solution. You have to add 10 drops of it. Okay. All right. Can you see the color change?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Can you see that the color is changing?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Tell me what is the color?
It is bluish.
Ma'am, it's blue.
Okay. It can be called a violet color. Okay. It will change completely. It will take some time, but it will change to a sort of violet color. Okay. This. Can you all see the change in color?
Yes, ma'am. It's
This
looking kind of
indicates that what happened?
it's looking a little like indigo.
Yeah. Okay. So this indicates that this sample or this basin which we took, okay, that contains proteins because it has changed its color to violet. Clear? Now we'll test it with one more food sample. You all can test it with other food samples also. Okay. 1 minute. Just a second. Okay, now what I'll be doing, I'll be taking some crushed groundnuts in it. Okay, I'll be adding some water to it. And in the same way, I'll be adding how many drops of copper sulfate? How
Two
many
to
drops?
three. 2 to 3.
Okay. Okay. And how many drops of sodium hydroxide solution?
10 to 12 drops.
Okay. So 10 to 12 drops. You can add 10 or little more than 10. Okay. Now, tell me what is the color?
Ma'am, it's blue.
It's blue. It is blue because of what? Because of the copper sulfate that we added. Because of the copper sulfate that we added, it is blue in color. It has not changed color to violet. Okay. So y'all can test. Means it will not. It will only show if protein is present. It will change into violet color. Otherwise, it will not change. So groundnuts don't contain proteins. Okay. Okay. All of you understood this type protein test? How you test proteins? Okay, we'll go to the next slide now. What happens is the copper, you can see the picture on the left hand side. Okay, the protein, the copper is in the center, and it forms a bond with 4 amino acids, the nitrogen of the 4 amino acids. It forms the bond with the nitrogen of the 4 amino acids. That makes it a complex, and that changes into violet color. If there is no nitrogen, okay, if there is you can say if it is carbohydrate or anything, we said carbohydrates have carbon, hydrogen and oxygen, but proteins also have nitrogen, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and nitrogen. So this copper, from the copper sulfate, it binds with the nitrogen of all the of at least 4 amino acids, and it forms this complex which becomes violet in color. Okay, protein test will not show for other food items which don't have proteins. Protein or this violet color will only form only if the food sample has proteins. Is that clear with everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we'll go to the next slide now. You have to do it with, sorry. Okay, you do not have these solutions, you will not do it. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. Now we'll discuss about fats. Fats are something which are also known as energy giving food. We said that fats are little difficult to break. they are little difficult to get digested because they are more complex. Okay, so what happens is it takes a longer time to give us energy. The fats take a longer time to give us energy. Like the carbohydrates, they also have carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. These three elements they have. Okay, and it is basically the storage form. Fats are stored mainly. If you eat more of fats, then it will be stored because you don't require that much of energy that you get from fats. Okay, if you eat too much of fats, you cannot use the energy, so that will be stored in your body. Okay, now fats can be divided into three types, that is saturated, unsaturated, and trans fats. Saturated fats are the fats which are solids at room temperature. They are solids like butter, ghee, okay, like cocoa butter, it can be cheese. These are all solids at room temperature. Okay, and what do these fats do? These fats, okay, before that let me tell you all one thing, that fats give us cholesterol. Okay, so there are some good cholesterol, there is some bad cholesterol. Now what these saturated fats do, they increase the bad cholesterol. Okay, they increase the bad cholesterol level. So is it good for our health or bad for our health? If it increases,
It is bad for our health.
okay, it is bad for our health, means we should not eat too much of saturated fats. Okay, butter, cheese, ghee, we should not eat too much, because what it does, it is increasing the bad cholesterol. Okay, so that is about saturated fat. Now what about the unsaturated fats? These are the fats that are liquids at room temperature, like vegetable oils, all these different kinds of nuts like coconut, like ground nuts. All these nuts, they contain also unsaturated fats. Okay,
Ma'am,
and
I have a question.
yes.
What is cholesterol?
Okay. See, cholesterol is something that is present in the fats, because the fats, uh, this gives us this cholesterol. It is present inside the fats. It is somewhat a greasy substance. Okay. And if these bad cholesterol, if they block our blood vessels, then it can cause some heart diseases. Like patients, some people get heart attacks and all. Why is it so? Because uh, there are some pipes running in our body through which the blood is passing. So these pipes, if it is blocked with this cholesterol, okay, cholesterol is of the fats that we get. Okay, that is cholesterol. So if that gets deposited in these pipe like structures through which the blood is passing, then it will not allow the blood to go to the heart, it will not allow the blood to go to different parts of the body, and it can be harmful for the body. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so unsaturated fats are mainly the fats that are liquid, like the vegetable oils and the nuts. They are the unsaturated fats. Now, what do? They increase the good cholesterol and they reduce the bad cholesterol. So, is it good or not? It is increasing the good cholesterol and reducing the bad cholesterol. Is it good or not
Yes,
for
it
us?
is. It is good.
It is good. So it is always said we should include some nuts in our diet. We should eat some dry fruits. Okay, like all these nuts and all. No, we should have sometimes in our diets. Okay, it is good for us. Now we'll discuss about trans fat. Trans fat is very dangerous. What it does, it increases the bad cholesterol and reduces the good cholesterol. It is increasing the bad cholesterol and reduces the good cholesterol. So it is very dangerous for us. We get trans fat from pizza, burger, pastries, all these type of junk food items, French fries, and all these. Okay, which have lots of these trans fat. So we should. It is means you all can eat it, but to a limit. You all should not eat more of all these things. It is bad for our health. Okay, because it is increasing the bad cholesterol and also decreasing the good cholesterol. So it is very bad for our health. Is that clear with all of you about saturated, unsaturated, and trans fat?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. Ma'am,
Okay.
I have a doubt.
Yes.
Ma'am, saturated fats and trans fats both are bad for us. So, what is the difference between them?
See, saturated fats, it increases the bad cholesterol, but it does not reduce the good cholesterol. It only increases the bad cholesterol, but good cholesterol is also there, but but more of bad cholesterol. Okay, so that is
Yes,
the
ma'am.
difference. But trans fat is doing opposite things, means it is increasing the bad cholesterol and also decreasing the good cholesterol. There is no good cholesterol in trans fat. So that is the difference. So trans fat is more dangerous than saturated fats. Saturated, see, you have to eat all these types of fats, but trans fat, you should not eat too much of all these. Okay? You should not eat too much of pizzas, burgers, and French fries, and all these things are junk food. They will spoil your health. Okay? So, understood what is the difference?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now we'll move on to the next slide. Okay. Now, as we said that carbohydrates, the main means the simplest one is, what is that? Glucose or a sugar molecule. In the same way, proteins are made up of amino acids. Fats are made up of two things. That is, you can see the structure. One is glycerol and fatty acids. Fats are made up of glycerol and fatty acids. Okay, so when both of these combine together, they form a fat molecule. Understood? Glycerol and fatty acids combine to form fats. All right. So long chains of fats can also be formed. What are the sources of fats? Tell me. What, some food items that contain fats.
Ma'am, cheese,
Butter.
oil, oil,
Oil. Yes.
groundnuts, avocados.
Groundnuts.
Ma'am,
Avocados.
almonds.
What is that?
Ma'am, does
Okay.
almonds?
Almonds. Yeah. Okay. Fine. Now we'll go to the next slide. Okay. We'll perform an experiment. Now what you'll have to do is you'll take a tissue paper or a paper. I have taken a tissue paper. Okay. I'm taking a tissue paper. You all can take any paper. And what you'll do, you'll rub the food samples in different areas of your tissue paper, of your paper. I'm rubbing groundnuts, groundnut powder, I mean. You all also do it simultaneously. You all rub it on different parts of your paper. Okay.
Children, keep your videos on.
Here I'm adding groundnuts. Okay. Here I'm adding gram flour. You all add it on different positions
Ma'am,
of your paper. Yes.
I have done this experiment before.
Okay, but you can do it again. Okay. See, this is gram flour. This is crushed groundnut powder. And I'm taking this potato and rubbing it here. Okay. Have you all done it? Have you all done it, children?
I've done, ma'am.
Okay. See, what have you all observed? Tell me.
Ma'am, I've observed that the peanuts are, when I do rub the peanuts, they leave oil
Yes.
stains.
Yes, yes. They leave oily stains. Okay. So anything which is rich in fat, they will leave oily stains, and other stains will evaporate. Other stains, if it is slightly liquid or it has become wet, then it will evaporate after some time. But these oily stains will remain back in the paper. Okay, it will not evaporate. The oily stain, this is of the crushed groundnut, so it has become somewhat translucent. Okay, it is translucent, so it leaves an oily stain. All of you, have you observed it? Tell me, which food samples have left oily
Yes, ma'am.
stains?
Ma'am, I use almonds for groundnut biscuits
Okay.
as uh, the
Yes.
sample.
Almonds, groundnut, and
Almonds and biscuits.
okay.
And I
Yes. Others also. What have you observed there? It has left an
ma'am,
oily stain.
groundnut and coconut powder has
Okay.
got the oily stains.
Left an oily stain. Okay, very good. Others? Janvi?
Ma'am, it leaves a oily patch like a translucent one.
Janvi,
Yes,
you can
ma'am.
put on your camera. All of you all can switch to your cameras while doing the experiments. Okay, so that we can also see. Yes. So, everyone has done it? Okay.
Ma'am.
Okay, now we'll quickly move to the next slide. Okay, now this has an oily stain, all of you all know, because it does not have that much of heat to evaporate out. Next slide. You all have to do it with all these food items. With all these food items, you all can try it, which leaves an oily stain. Now we'll talk about water. Water is something which is not considered as food, but it is very, very important for us to stay alive. Okay, what does the water do? It helps us to absorb the nutrients from the food. Without water, we cannot absorb the nutrients from our food. We take food, but we don't take water, then uh, the food will not work because the nutrients will not be absorbed by our body without the water. Okay, so water, tries to make our body absorb the or we can say the nutrients. The water also helps in good digestion. Okay, the water helps us to remove out the waste substances in the form of urine and in the form of sweat. So it helps us to remove these waste substances from our body. Okay, our blood is also in the which form? It is in the liquid form. So all these things require water. Okay, means our blood is in the liquid form. Most of our body is also, we say that our body is made up of 70% of water. Okay, so water is very important for us to stay alive. It helps us to absorb nutrients. It helps us to remove the waste from our body. It helps us in various reactions, like it helps us in proper digestion. All these things are done by water. Okay, next slide. Next slide. Okay, and where do we get water from? We get water from fruits and vegetables. Lot of water we get from fruits and vegetables. Okay, like watermelon gives us so much of water. See the picture, it gives us 93% of water. Means that watermelon is made up of 93% of water. Tomatoes are made up of 94% of water. All these vegetables, see the proportion of water, see the amount of water that it contains. Okay, so if we eat more of these foods, we'll get more water.
So, ma'am,
And
cucumber has the most water.
yes, cucumber has 96% of water. Okay, and our water needs also depends on the season. If it is summer season, we are sweating a lot, so much water is being removed from our body, so we need more water. Okay, and in the winter season we need comparatively less water, but every day you should drink at least 8 glasses of water. 6 to 8 glasses of water should be drunk every day. Okay? Next slide. Okay. Now we'll test for the presence of water. What do? We take a tomato and we cut it. Okay? What do we observe? Lot of water in our hands. Your hands will get wet because of the water. So y'all can also try it. Try it. Try cutting a tomato.
Ma'am, I did with tomato
Okay.
and there is water inside.
Okay, very good. Anyone else? All of y'all please switch on your camera so that we can see you all performing the experiment. Yes, okay. Jayant, you have tried it. Anyone else who has done it? Sanika, Janvi.
Ma'am, can you explain it once more?
See, what you have to do, you have to take the tomato and you cut it. If you have a tomato, you have a lemon or whatever you have, you cut it. And you see if water's coming in your hands. Okay? Cut it.
Yes,
Cut it
ma'am.
carefully. Don't cut your hands. You'll have to cut the tomato. And cut it carefully. Slowly and carefully. Don't be in a hurry. Okay? Aram se you all can do it. See if there is water in your hands.
Turn your videos on, children. All of y'all must turn your videos on immediately.
Yes, Alina, very good. Okay. Water is in your hands, right? So tomato contains lot
Yes,
of
ma'am.
water. Yes. All of you have performed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you all observe some water? Yes. Can you
Yes,
all observe
ma'am.
some water on your hands? Okay. If you try to, you know, do it or squeeze out water, lot of water will come. You look at this. You can see lot of water coming out. You can squeeze it to see how much water is there in the tomato. Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
So, tomato contains a lot of water. In the same way, you can try it with any other vegetable too to see whether it contains more water or not. Is it clear to all of y'all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. We can go to the next slide if there is any. Yeah, we already observed this, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You'll have to record your observations with different vegetables and fruits, okay? Okay. Now, do you have any questions, children, about all these things?
No, ma'am.
What we learned today?
Ma'am,
So,
I had a question about the sprouting experiment that we did last time.
yeah.
So
What is your question?
on the fifth day, my sprouts got fungus. So can you tell me how I can avoid that?
Okay. So, where did you keep it?
I kept it in a damp cloth.
Okay. There was fungus. So you should not means you can keep it, but if you that's a rare case actually. It usually does not catch fungus, but even then you should not keep it you don't continue to keep it in a damp cloth for a very long time. Okay, you can keep it open, because then the baby plant has already means it is already the baby plant has grown a lot. So you needn't keep it in a damp cloth. You can keep it in maybe you can keep it in little water or something, or in a dry place for some time. Okay, you don't put it in a damp cloth, because it also needs air. It also needs lot of air, because that is a baby plant, and it needs everything that a plant needs. So you can avoid keeping it so tight in the damp cloth. Maybe that's why it has got the fungus.
Yes,
Otherwise it would have grown normally. Okay.
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I also tried this sprouting activity. Okay, so my observation is that till the sprout starts coming out, we can keep it tied in a damp cloth. And once
Otherwise,
the sprout has appeared, you can take a jali, a sieve kind of thing, from where the sprout can get air from all the sides, and keep it in that, so that air is there, little bit of warmth is there. It does not need more moisture for the sprout to grow, so damp cloth might not be required there.
Okay.
okay. Any more questions regarding today's topic?
No, ma'am.
No? You all are clear? So I'll be asking you all some questions then. Okay? Tell me, what is the color of the food sample that has shown protein test? What is the color change? What color does it become?
It turns violet. Violet.
Violet. Very good. Okay. Name the chemical that is added to for the starch test. What is the chemical?
Iodine.
Iodine. Very good. Very good. Name two foods that contain lot of water.
Tomato and cucumber.
Tomato and cucumber. Okay, now you all will fill in the blanks, okay? Dash are known as bodybuilding foods.
Protein.
Carbohydrates and fat proteins.
Proteins. Okay, carbohydrates are known as which food?
Energy giving.
Energy giving food. Yes. Dash fats are the most unhealthy for us. Dash fats are the most
Bad fats.
trans fats. Okay, very good. So you all have done very well. You all have answered all questions. Very good. Okay, good job. Okay. So with this, we can end the session. Next week, we can meet again with another topic. Yes,
Ma'am,
Jayant, you want to ask?
do we have any
Yes.
assignments that we have to complete at home?
You'll have to carry it out with all the food samples and record your observation with the food samples, with all the food samples that were asked to bring. Okay, so you'll have to carry it out with all these food samples. All of you
Okay.
are understood. All these food samples you'll have to carry out the fat test and the and the starch test with all these food samples and record your observations. And
And
after this, you have to also attend the quiz, so that you all can know how much you all have understood the topic. Okay,
Ma'am,
attend the
do
quiz on
we
the
have to
portal.
post our observations?
Swapna ma'am, are they having any observation record for that?
I have sent you the experiment sheet now, so in that you can record your observations.
Okay.
And if you like, if you can't print it, you can maintain a separate notebook wherein you can record observation for every experiment that you do. Yeah, and there is a further research activity which is uploaded on the portal. So once you open and log into the portal, you will see there is the quiz and there is a further research activity. So after you have done the experiment, you can carry out the further research activity for this session.
So after we've done the assignment, like, can we discuss our observations with everyone?
No, because we have already discussed it, right, during the session. We
Yeah.
have discussed it for few samples, but yes, some students were not able to get the color change in potato. If you find any such scenario, then you have to share it with us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. See you in the next class. Bye bye.
Bye.
Well done, all of you. Well done.